All right, Coach, you've had some time to sit on last weekend, the win and the loss. Just what are your thoughts coming a couple of days off of Saturday's game?
Well, we did a lot of good things. We just didn't score. At the end of the day, if we have that type of effort, and I call it execution as well. Often sometimes the puck goes in, sometimes it doesn't. And you heard me even say maybe last year or even this year, I forget. And it's funny because Buddy Powers texted me this even against Ferris when we won 3-1 with the empty netter on the Friday. He said, remember, cats like your offense. It comes and goes, and defense has to be loyal, just like a dog, right? And if you look at what we've given up in the last 4 games, it's very minimal. Even shots, Saturday night grade A shots on net via Sport Logic had 0 for them, last weekend we had a game where we had 0 against as well, grade A. So we're defending hard. We're defending the right areas. Sometimes the puck doesn't cross the line for you, and you face a good goalie. What else can you do? To me, zone time was double. Zone time possession was double. Face-offs were strong. Our 50-50 battles were up. A lot of good. Just unfortunate that, little rubber puck just didn't get across the line. So what else can you do?
Yeah, then how much, if at all, is a reset this week, or is it still going into this week of practice working on the same things that's been worked on a lot of the season?
Well, we gave them Monday off from the rink as well. First time of the year we gave them 2 days off and that. And, it's funny with our group, we give them off, but they're still here. First, goalies are calling, wanting to get on the ice, and guys maybe didn't play, want puck touches, off it, which is a good thing. But, we wanted Monday to just give them, again, the day. We call a lot of time a professional development day for them, too, where, we bring them in. They can do whatever they need. They can just ride the bike. They can stretch. They can, roll out. They can go shoot pucks, off it. On Monday, I thought, where we were, we've been going since Christmas. It was a good time to get a little break, and put on them to make sure we're optimal at 7:07 on Friday. So not a lot of tweaking right now with us. We got to just feel good. We got up and down the ice today, on the sheet for about 45 minutes and did about 15 minutes of splits and skills, off it, just because we had 2 days off for most of the guys. And, tomorrow we'll get in some more structure, special teams, morning skate Thursday, and then we're off. So it's going to come quick.
Yeah, not much success in front of the net as both nights you mentioned with the low-scoring weekend. Is a focus this weekend trying to get more guys to the front of the net? Is it doing the same thing all year, or is it trying to
just a
diversify the
one-off.
offense?
We got to the net. Like our grade A's were 6-0, which means we're doing something right. We're on the inside. We're going to cross the Royal Road. You have more guys to the net. All you do is plug it up. So you got to find soft areas of the ice, right? So if all of a sudden you got 2 guys and you don't have a stack screen, now we have 2, they have 2, the chances of that shot coming through is pretty hard, right? So, to me, I thought we played really good hockey, off it. And you win some, you lose some, and what can we do? We can't sit here and dwell on it. We got, a bigger beast coming in front of us with Bemidji, who's coming off, last 2 weekends, 4 losses in league play. So they're going to come. They're back at home, and it's a tough building. And, Tom Saratory does a great job. And Travis, it's going to be such a battle for our group mentally and physically up there. And for a lot of our guys, half our team, it's a new venue. It's a little bit different, to go on the road and play them there. We played them twice here at the beginning of the year, both overtime games. So, it's going to be your classic one goal game, off them. And I think if I read right, we've played them, since I've been here, we've played them 6 games. Every game is 5 have been overtime. The other game was a 1-goal, 3-2 game. Is that what, I think Kevin back there shaking his head, is that what I read the other day? Like, how crazy is that? So I'm going to say it might be a 1-goal game if we keep projecting. All 6 games have been one goal, so it's crazy tight.
Yeah, you did steal my next question there, but what do you feel like about those games against Bemidji has made it so tight, made it the 1 goals, made them all go to overtime and been so tight between the two?
I think both teams play a lot of the same style, fast pace, relentless. Neither team gives up. I think neither team really feels like they're out of the game, whenever they play. So, it's hard to close them out. We've had some games up there last year where we had the lead, going in and they scored a 6-on-5 goal with about 3, 4, 5 seconds left. Like, and then they won in overtime. So what, 5 seconds away from having a win and 3 points goes to 1 point, so we have to rely on our leadership group, our returning coaching staff, Kurt and I, to know that this year's a resilient group too, much like ourselves, and it's going to be a battle.
Yeah, the defense has been strength, goaltending as well, and 1 goal given up each of the last 3 games, I believe, or 4 games less than 3. So, how have you felt about the goaltending so far this season, or at least this calendar year, and looking forward to this weekend, going forward with Steiny and Morsey and Paul?
Yeah, I was saying today, we're talking about Appleby there from Lake State, and those, your goalies are like your quarterbacks. And I was talking to Clint this morning on the radio, and I just said, in order to have success, your goalies have to be good. No NHL team wins a Stanley Cup without a goalie normally up for the Conn Smythe. It is always in that conversation, right? And I've been really happy with our goalies, since Christmas break and for most of the year. It's a tough. It's the last couple have been tough games to play because there's waves of those periods where we hold the puck, for 10, 12 minutes without a shot against, and then all of a sudden 2, 3, 4 shots come on a goalie, which makes it hard. So, but they've given us a chance, all the second half. That was obviously our first loss, in the second half of the year. So, we hopefully we respond the way we want, and we continue to get goaltending, and we've done a really good job defensively in our forwards, eliminating grade A opportunities and really good on the penalty kill and making it tough for our opponents. So it's going to be even that more important as we go on the road against Bemidji.
Yeah, as we've gone through this starting portion of 2026, defensemen seem to continue getting better. But last game, obviously, Dalton Norris injured on the boards. Is there an update that you can give us on him? And if not, what leadership does he bring, even though he's not on the ice to this team?
Yeah, no update on him, but he's obviously the captain for a reason, and clear out, salt of the earth, true, in and out 4-year Bowling Green Falcon hockey player. What fans see with him on the ice is only half of what he brings off the ice to our group, and his leadership, his ability to rally the guys in the right direction, to take on a lot of ownership with our group, and he's a big reason to our success this year so far. As he's done a really good job, mentoring the younger players as well as returning players, and getting everybody on the same page. And so when you see your captain like that go down, who's obviously is a senior in his last year, it's always a little bit gut wrenching there, and because he's put and poured so much of his time in, and to BG, not only to BG hockey but to the community and to the university. He's through and through a true Bowling Green hockey player, and he'll definitely be back at some point, off it, and knowing his work ethic and his determination, he's going to follow protocols, and he'll want to get back, I'm sure, sooner than later.
Yeah, he missed the last half of the last game. Noah Morneau has missed 3 in a row now. Is there players that you feel like have stepped up with the absence of 2 pretty key players in the lineup on the forward group and the defenseman?
Yeah, well, the Nori one just happened, right? So time will play out in that one here, and Noah Morneau, we had to move Connor Levis to the middle of the ice, which hasn't been a centerman. So that's always difficult. And I thought he's done a really nice job, of that, because it's not easy to get thrown in and be asked to play, 10, 12 minutes, especially in a position where most of the year he's played wing. So I definitely give him, a big kudos for his, willingness and attentiveness to jump in and do a great job for us. And obviously Jake Sloan's playing more minutes too. So we have 2 freshman centermen that are logging a lot more ice time than they're used to. And we're going to have to continue to build off that. But, I must say guys like Ben Durant and Jaden Grant have done a really nice job, elevating their game responsibilities with Noah being out of the lineup as well.